back to my channel. This is the Posh Incredible YouTube TV, TIFF TV, whatever you want to call it. But this is video 4 of the Vietnam playlist. Welcome back for video 4. This is just your basic Vietnam tips. These are like shortcuts to traveling in general. This is probably like the most general video of the playlist. You could use these tips for other places that you travel to, but because I learned them in Vietnam, it's part of this playlist. All right, let's get to it. So, number 1, either before you go or while you're there, make sure that you ask people about Vietnam who have been there. So maybe you have a friend, or you're part of the Girls Love Travel group, or when you get there, you're like staying in a hostel, or you go on a tour, and you just ask people, just say like, hey, what were your favorite things while you've been here? Or what have you done? Usually if you ask people what have you done, or like where are you in your Vietnam trip, they will say the places that they've been, and you just observe what they get very excited about. So when they light up, when they tell you you have to do something, take note of those places, because those are the places that you need to go. People don't get excited for things for nothing. You know, like I had brunch with a friend yesterday, and he's asking me like, he was like, hey, did you do like the canoe and paddle like through Ha Long Bay? And I was like, yeah, it was cool. Let me tell you about this awesome ass road trip I went on in Ha Giang. And so he's like, wow, that's really badass. So listen, like make sure you do things. Even if you're in like Phong Nha, like when I was there, I stayed a little bit longer than my friends, and they're like, if you have extra time, you have to go to the duck stop. Like just do it. Like go to the duck stop. And if I heard them talking to somebody else, they would say go to the duck stop. So I like had to go to the duck stop. So when you ask people, definitely rearrange your schedule to go do the things that they were really excited about. Unless it's cutting into something that you really want to do, not something that you feel like you have to do. For example, Ha Long Bay is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And so you feel like you have to go do that for that reason. Maybe just go for a day tour. Don't go for don't spend like 3 days there. If you really, really want to go to Ha Long Bay and you want to do like the whole experience, maybe you want to do like Cat Ba too, then maybe spend 3 days. Like if that's what you're really feeling pulled to. But if you feel like you have to do something because it's in Vietnam, like going to the War Museum or something, like if you're really like a history buff and you're really into like World War stuff and like the war in Vietnam and like French history, like go do war stuff then. You know, like the entire time I was there, I didn't meet anybody who was like, you have to go do that. Most people are like, oh, like if you're in Hoi An, like go buy a balloon from the guy who's selling nitrous oxide on the corner. You know, like do fun stuff. I didn't do that. Actually, I did do it. I bought a balloon for a friend because they gave me a better price than they gave him, but I'm not into that because that was like what I did in high school and I didn't like it then, so why would I like it now when I'm 30? Anyways, but you know what I mean? Like go do the stuff that people are really excited about. That's all I have to say. That's about that. Here's a tip for you guys. If you're sometimes it's really difficult to find what you're looking for in Vietnam, to find the type of service that you're looking for, to find the best transportation, to find, where to go to eat. So here's my recommendation. Go find a fancy hotel. Go find like a 5-star hotel, okay? Because 5-star hotels, 1, they speak fluent English, everybody who works there. 2, they're trained to serve. Doesn't matter who you are, they're trained to serve. So they will give you they'll give you 5-star service. And the other reason is because they usually know what their customers are higher paying customers. So they usually know, like for example for transportation, they usually know like the best, highest class transportation options that there are that you won't be able to find because it's all in Vietnamese. So if you ever need help with anything, if you're having a hard time, if you need help finding like a bank or getting money or anything, like you just find the nicest hotel that you can find. Agoda or Booking.com or Googling, like whatever you have to do. Find like the nicest hotel. Go to the Ritz-Carlton. Go to like like a 5-star boutique hotel and ask for what you need, because they will help you. And this is what I recommend. Like, if you're having trouble finding like good transportation, just go to the hotel and be like, hey, I'm like having trouble, I'm not staying here. Even if you're not staying there, they don't care. Like, they'll help you find whatever it is that you need help with, because they're trained to serve. They're trained to give good service, and that's just what they do. So that's a little trick for you guys. Make sure you get Google Translate. Google Translate has been a lifesaver. I got in a motorcycle accident and had to go to the hospital, and I was literally like just communicating with the doctor through Google Translate. So download Google Translate, go get a SIM card. When you go to other countries, you really realize like how much we get ripped off here in the United States. Like, I think I got 60 gigs of data for like $15 in Vietnam, and it lasts for like a month. That's like, no, it was $9. It's 2 gigs a day for 30 days for $9. So go, just get a SIM card. I've been changing my WhatsApp number, but apparently you don't have to change your WhatsApp number. You could just use your own phone number that's the account's been connected with. Yeah, it's a lifesaver. Just do it. Just get a SIM card, because it's so much easier to travel. If you go on that road trip, like, you could just do, you know, like Google Maps or something. If you're traveling alone, like, this is for solo travelers. If you're traveling alone, it's really easy to make friends. You can stay in hostels. I didn't stay in hostels, but I did meet groups of friends, like going on tours or on the bus ride up to wherever I was going. It's really easy. Like, there are a lot of other solo travelers in Vietnam, so you're likely to find at least somebody who has like an open enough schedule so you guys can like go take an adventure together. And I highly recommend making friends and doing that, because some experiences are just better shared. I don't know, like, making connections while traveling is all part of the travel experience. And sometimes you just want to go by yourself and you want to be alone, and that's cool too. But just know that it's like super easy to make friends in Vietnam. And you can do that by staying at a hostel. You can do that just by going out, like, on a tour. Like, if you go, like, do a Ha Long Bay tour, you can either do, like, a cruise, or you can do a, like, a day tour. You're basically stuck with those people for the entire day, so you already have, like, a group of friends, like, that you'll be connected with by default. So if you have a difficult time making friends with people, then do that. Go do like a food tour. Usually like the younger people do the shared food tours, and even if there are friends in the group, like I was with a couple of Australian guys and a group of German girls, and we all just became like really good friends over the course of like a few hours just from sharing food. So that's another way. Just like share food, go on tours, go by yourself. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you want to make friends, you will make friends. And if you want to be alone, you can be alone too. One of the reasons why it's so easy to travel in Vietnam is because there's a service for everything. If you want to do the Ha Giang Loop, but you don't want to drive yourself, like, you can find somebody that will drive for you. If you want to have a scooter or rent a motorbike, basically you just, like, you go to the hotel and you say, I want a motorbike for 3 days or whatever, and it'll be delivered in 5 minutes. So if you need a taxi, they'll book it for you. If you need a train ride, like, they'll book it for you. If you need a bus ride, they'll book it for you. Basically, they don't do airlines, but that's pretty easy to do yourself. Oh yeah, that reminds me about airlines. So if you're going to be flying around Vietnam, which I highly recommend, there's this very strict luggage requirement. 7 kilograms or less for a carry-on bag. You only get, that's total. And then if it's more than that, you have to check it. So if you're gonna bring a carry-on, make sure the combined weight of all of your bags is under 7 kilograms. And if it's over, make sure you have a bag that can go in the checked baggage. It's not gonna like break open or fall apart or be delicate. The other thing is, like, if you're gonna have to pay for your bags to go overage, to go under the plane, you have to get out of line, pay for it, and then go back to the counter to check your bag. So it's kind of a hassle, and they're really, really strict. They will not let you slide. They won't let you slide. So Vietnam Airlines, like there's Vietjet, there's Vietnam Airlines, there's Jetstar, Pacific, and maybe like one other that have really inexpensive flights. I would say Vietnam Airlines is the nicest, then Jetstar, then Vietjet is like very, very, very low budget. But you can find really cheap, really, really, really cheap flights on Vietjet. So I'd say like most Vietnamese people fly Vietjet, and it's between like Westerners and Chinese people who fly the other two airlines. There's a lot of Chinese people in Vietnam. So just be cognizant of that. Oh man, like I really do not understand the concept of backpacking and like why you have to bring a backpack in order to backpack. I've never, unless I'm camping, like I've never backpacked through like Europe or Southeast Asia, and I have backpacked, but I haven't had my backpack. So I actually think it's more convenient to just like have a rolly, because you don't have to carry it on your back. Backpacks are so awkward. I do not understand why people do that. Like I just don't get it. And that brings me to another point. I did watch a movie on an airline that really made me laugh, because it's called that movie about that woman who has a daughter in college and she never finished, so she goes back to school and she's actually graduating in the same class with her daughter, and she's sleeping with one of her daughter's friends, and he was like, hey, do you want to go backpacking through Europe with me? And she's like, no, like I can't do that. Like that's, here, I'll actually find the clip and include it. It made me laugh so hard, because I was like, that's me. All of my friends in Vietnam were like in their early 20s, and they were all backpacking. I was like, I just don't get this. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to your body? Even when I was like 20, I didn't do that. Anyways, that's just really funny. That's like exactly how I feel about backpacking, was in that movie. I think that's it. I think that's it for my travel tips. That doesn't really seem like a whole lot, but those are the ones that came up for me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the playlist. Stay tuned for more, either travel or beauty or business, Amazon related, mindset. I always talk about mindset. You guys know this. Habits. Please, I would love to hear about your own travel tips, maybe even about Vietnam. What were you really excited about? Below, any comments, questions, I am always looking to answer and read those. I love hearing from you guys. And don't forget to ring the bell to find out when we post new content. All right, guys. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Bathroom time. That's what that means.